Oh. Derek, hello. I know. I'm sorry, buddy. Off you go. Thank you. All right. I am super impressed with that. Absolutely stunning. Okay. James from Meatster here, and thanks for coming to watch this video. I think we've got a really interesting one today with 3 lesser known cuts of meat, and just working from this side over, we've got a bavette steak, we've got a hanger steak, and we've got a flat iron steak. Now all of them offer something different, different degrees of sort of flavour and tenderness. Obviously none of them are the prime cuts, and they do cost quite a lot less, maybe half the amount that a sirloin or a ribeye would cost. But I do think they give you something different, and if you're used to eating a lot of steak, you know, it's fun sometimes to choose something different. These are often being used when marinated. In Mexico, for example, they use them in tacos and things like that. But the flat iron steak has gained a lot of popularity in the UK. I don't know about in the US, but there are restaurants that are specialising in this particular cut, and that's because it can actually sort of mimic a sirloin or a ribeye steak, I think, if cooked properly. This hanger steak in the middle was, you know, this was often kept by the butcher because there's just one in the body, so you know, it's not easy to sort of sell this as a main product in the butcher's shop, and it's also maybe not the most attractive piece of steak, but if you can cut off most of the sinew that runs down the middle, then actually you can end up with something really delicious and tender. And then the bavette steak, which is often something you find in France as well, has really loose texture to it. So by cutting across the grain, which I'll show you in a little bit, we can reduce the size of the fibres and actually just increase the tenderness slightly. But all of these are going to have a different mouthfeel from your prime cuts. They're going to be less melt in the mouth, but you're going to get that really nice chewing, chewy, that doesn't sound great, does it? You're going to get that bite to it, let's say, not chewiness. But I find that goes really well with a fresh salad and vinaigrette, with something like that cuts across it, or you could have chimichurri, or you could even have a salsa verde. Anything like that with oil and vinegar and some herbs is going to be delicious. But today, we're going to keep it simple because we just want to find out which of these is the most flavoursome, which offers which sort of option for you to go with. So let's get cracking. I'm going to go and cook these, and I'll be back in a minute, hopefully, with the finished product. These juices, there's a bit of sort of juice that's come out. Just going to go straight over. I haven't made a sauce today. Normally I'd have either made mayonnaise, chimichurri, or just some sort of garlic oil. But I've decided today that I'm just going to taste the beef as it is, and then I've got some horseradish. Alright, I'm going to work from this way across. Bavette is the one that I'm most used to having eaten in the past, so I'm going to try that first. Just season these with salt. Bavette is one that you cut across here. So let's give it a go. Perfect. I can eat sirloin medium rare, ribeye I can eat medium, and I'm happy with medium rare when it comes to this sort of steak. Right. Here we go. Smells amazing. Mmm. All that charcoal flavour, but oh, wow. I wasn't actually expecting it to be that good. I've never cooked bavette on the barbecue before. It's so juicy. There's just the slightest bit of texture to it, but not chewiness in any way. All right, I am super impressed with that. Absolutely stunning. Okay, wow. I'm actually a bit taken aback by that, how delicious that is. But let's go for the hanger steak, the onglet. I've not had this for a long time, so I'm curious myself. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Now, these have actually been dry aged for over 2.5 weeks, so there is, you can see there's a bit of colour to them, a bit of a dark colour, and I can only imagine that adds to the flavour, of course. Oh, right. This smells even better. Oh. Okay. Okay, there is a different texture. It's definitely got a slight chewiness to it. Now, it's not something that would put me off. Oh. It forms a really nice crust. I can see some people say that it has a slight kidney flavour, and that is, it actually is next to the kidney. And personally, I can taste that slight flavour. And I can see why you would have this with more of a marinade, something with sharper flavours, but there's certainly nothing wrong with it. It's still really delicious. I can tell you what, those butchers and those butlers, they've been keeping something to themselves. Now, flat iron. I've never had flat iron steak before. I'm intrigued. Let's cut it this way. Ooh, okay. It's got a finer texture. Let's give it a taste. I'm intrigued. Okay. That tastes like really mature, dry-aged beef, which is really interesting. I had no idea that it would taste like that. I've spoken to the butcher. They've been aged all for roughly the same amount of time, 2.5 to 3 weeks. That's intriguing. It's a very strong flavour, a bit like you know, a well dry-aged 40-day prime cut. I'm just going to go back and forth for a sec because I'm finding the flat iron has the strongest flavour, and for me, it's my least favourite one out of these three. The one that's absolutely nailed it. Oh, that bavette is taking the words out of my mouth. Actually, it's damn delicious. I've got to have one more taste of each. I don't know if you want me to rate these out of 10. It's something maybe I should do, just to give you a relative idea, okay? If I'm giving the best Galician steak I've ever had a 9.5 out of 10, and the best dry-aged rare breed Aberdeen Angus style of British beef, you know, I'm giving that a 9. You know, those are those moments when you sit in a restaurant and you're absolutely overawed by the flavour. I've got to give this bavette at least 7.5, if not 8. It's just an incredibly clean, delicious beef flavour that I really didn't think you'd get from such a cheaper cut. Apologies for all the chewing. It is a food channel after all. And then the onglet, which has a completely different colour, much darker. It has that very slight kidney flavour, but it's and I can't stand offal, so I would tell you if I couldn't stand it. It's just very slight. I'd give that a good 6 out of 10. It's something that if I really fancied a steak and I was amongst lots of friends and I needed to buy lots of it, I would happily buy that, and everyone would be happy with a great salad and some sauteed potatoes. That would be stunning. And then this flat iron steak might be the most tender. It's definitely very interesting. I would probably just as happily eat that as the hanger steak, to be honest with you. It offers something slightly different. Now that I've eaten all three like this, actually it's an ideal opportunity when you've got friends around in the summer or the spring for a barbecue that you just cook all three of them. I think they've all got their merits. The bavette is incredible. Piece of meat. It's really taken on the char grilled coal flavour. At the end of the day, if you prefer your beef with a very clean flavour, with, you know, a decent amount of beefiness to it, then the bavette is definitely the one you should go for. It's got a really lovely texture. It's not melt in your mouth like a ribeye. It's, you know, maybe more like a rump steak in that sense, but it's got way more flavour than almost any other cut I can think of. You know, I'm not a fillet person, so to me fillet steak is just deadly dull, really, unless it's in a really good sauce or something. But even then, it's just acres of bland, unfatty meat, what's the point? So it's nothing like that. It's full of flavour. Each bite is juice and salt and beef and coal flavour, and it's just stunning. Maybe I should up my score to 8. That's made me very happy. And then the other two are also very good. I'd be interested to see how they are cooked in the pan, basted with butter, rosemary or thyme and other flavours added to it, so maybe I'll do a video with those in future. Anyway, I hope you've found something new or learnt something out of this video. I certainly have. And I'll be back very soon with another comparison taste test video for you. So thank you very much for watching, and if you've enjoyed what you've seen here, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below. I really enjoy chatting to anyone about steak or other types of meat, food, anything. You know, we're just starting off here with this channel, but we're going to come up with hopefully some really interesting content for you. Anyway, have a good evening, and I hope this has made you as hungry as I was before I started eating. Cheers.